right bags, it's Jade. Welcome to an Ark Survival Evolved news video. Today, guys, I'm going to be giving you a bit of a breakdown on what Wildcard are actually doing to combat cheaters. You'll know, and some of you I do realise aren't exactly happy with me being negative about Wildcard sometimes, and I do appreciate that. But at the end of the day, this game has had an extraordinarily long time filled with lots of problems and issues. And if I don't raise the issues, who else will? You tell me what other YouTubers are out there making videos constantly talking about the problems. So when you see me complain and moan and say that Wildcard aren't doing enough, I'm not being overly harsh. I've been there from the start. I've seen ARK grow and grow. I've seen where they've come from. I realise they're a small team. And I've supported them with hundreds and hundreds of videos. I'm on my 460th video at the moment. And that's probably only the last 2 years worth of videos. There's a lot more before then. And they're just news videos. That's not even anything else. That's literally just update videos. So I don't like criticising Wildcards, but end of the day, if they don't make improvements, that's what they'll get alongside all the other stuff I do, like the hype videos, the informational videos. You can take it, you can leave it, it's up to you. I don't really care. ARK isn't my most viewed even game on my channel. It wasn't even my top 10 videos last year. And last year was my most successful ever. The last 9 months literally have been just amazing for the channel in terms of subs and views. Literally just the best I've ever had. I do it because I still think this game's got so much potential. So I'm just going to put that out there because I did get a few comments from people saying why you got to be negative. Don't blame the messenger. Blame the people that actually make the game. Now, I say that lightly, you don't have to blame anyone. We realise ARK is a complicated game. It has got a lot of systems in it. There is always going to be some bugs and problems and issues. I'm not worried about that kind of stuff unless it affects gameplay massively. And that's the problem. Some of these stuffs that's been going on, especially the cheating side of it, has been in the game for at least 6 or 7 months. And during that time, Wildcard really just haven't done that much, or they certainly haven't let us know what they've done. Maybe there's a good reason for that. They don't want cheaters to get wind of what they're doing, but they have tried a couple of things and it just hasn't panned out, and they've not really communicated exactly when the time frame was, and it shouldn't take 6 or 7 months to get things fixed. So that's what we're going to concentrate on today. There is no Genesis news, and watch what happens when I don't put Genesis in the title. This video will only get a couple thousand views, but we have got some stuff today. Cedric has basically gone on a spree talking and communicating with lots of angry people, just sick and tired of some of the problems, and they've also done an update on PC. Now this update is pretty substantial, particularly if you're a mesher. It is gonna hopefully shut you the fuck up from meshing anymore. That's the plan anyway. We're gonna go through this update first, then we'll go through some replies. So for meshing, they've unattached all grabber hooks when sitting on a chair. This was a method. Disabled climbing picks from attaching to gate frames, charged lanterns, ladders, fence foundations and railings. Mixed to mesh exploits related to creatures. Fixed to mesh exploits related to structures. Fixed ice titan breath going through the mesh. Fixed some cases where building structures did not use a bi-directional trace check, allowing certain structures to be placed deep into the mesh. Fixed the case where the collision check on players wasn't correctly applying, therefore allowing people to go enter some meshes. Fixed the bug which prevented players entering K-cam a second time if they had a weapon tool in their hand. Fixed the bug with a Velenosaur's attack, causing it to incorrectly attack the wrong collision group on Parasaurs. Diplodocus, Brontos and more creatures. They should no longer take damage when you target the air breath underneath their bellies. Fixed an incorrect collision profile which allowed mechs to collide into and stack on top of one another. Enforce a blink recharge cooldown reduced from 20 seconds to 7 seconds. Enforce a blink range extended from 4,000 units to 5,000 units. And Enforce can no longer blink onto or very near large creatures, very, very close to them. Fix the bug which would sometimes cause the atmosphere fog to break. So they've also done a few bits and bobs in the last few days as well. What they have done is they've reverted something to do with the duping, and that's the other big thing they've tried combating in the last few weeks. It's good stuff, and I'm going to applaud them. At last, we've got some fixes for meshing. Meshing is probably the longest issue. The way that ARK maps have been built, and I've explained this before in lots of videos, they're really, really pretty, they're really custom made, and they are hand placed everywhere. What this usually means though is there has never really been a real proper way to stop meshes, because you'll always find a rock placed somewhere that hasn't gone as part of the geometry. So the way that the devs are now focusing on this is a real good thing. It hopefully will reduce it. It's not going to completely stop it, but with meshing it still is at our sake having to go through the whole map sometimes. So if they reduce how many spots you can mesh, that hopefully means your bases won't get meshed as much. I don't think it's going to just completely get rid of it. There have been some talks about a mod that does it and detects and allows everyone to know you're meshing, and that can be useful, but it still doesn't stop it. Wildcard's answer is why they haven't brought some of this stuff in earlier, or why they don't talk about it as much, is they've wanted to make sure they get as many of these issues resolved in many ways as they can, because they don't want to just say they fix something and then 10 more methods pop out. So there will still be meshing, but at the moment this is probably the biggest amount of work that they've done on meshing in a year. I think since Hod Gaming did his video talking about the meshing, maybe that was earlier on this year. I don't remember that. I remember them doing a big update or talking about it, but actually not doing too much to fix it. So I will give them a heads up. I'll give them a good shout and saying, well done. You're making progress. It still took far too long, but they are making progress. Next up though is the duping situation. The duping is basically on Xbox, PlayStation, where it's at its worst. It's happening on PC as well. They implemented a feature where if you chucked out your cryo chamber with a duped creature, your creature would disappear. So yay, that means your creature was duped. Fuck you. You might not even realise that. You may have done a trade with another player and they've given you a duped one. So it's not always your fault. I'm not saying you're a cheater, but end of the day, if they're duped, they've got to be removed. The problem with that was it was affecting innocent players. There were so many innocent people saying about it on the forums and Twitter, and it all just happened. At first when I looked, there really wasn't that much talk. I had a few of you guys DMing me, and then when I looked into it more, there was literally hundreds of complaints about this situation. So it was a mistake. They're tuning it now. They've basically allowed it back on once more. So there will be some cases where people are just trying to get rid of their creatures as quickly as they can, but it's going to happen. They're going to switch it back on. And so if you've got dupe creatures, you won't be able to put them into cryopods, because when you chuck them out, they won't be there. They'll be gone. They'll be deleted. There is another part of that though. I've had information from you guys telling me that it only works as long as the duped creature is on the server. So say you've got a level 200 T-Rex and you go ahead and dupe that T-Rex. If that T-Rex is on the server, then when you throw your T-Rex out of the cryopod, the duped one, it won't spawn. However, if that original T-Rex dies, then apparently you can go ahead and chuck out your T-Rex that you've duped. So they've got work to do, and this is what's the frustrating. That is definitely taken 7 months. It's taken a year, in fact. This started happening more and more after Extinction. Obviously we had more cryopods in place, and that meant there was easier ways to do it and stuff. And so they've added things like giving cryopods at the obelisks and stuff as well. So it all made it very easy for people to do this. So they're trying to help out quality of life stuff and making not have to travel miles across the map with hundreds of creatures. It makes sense. It saves on memory. It means the server performance is better, but it does have that knock-on effect. It's still taken far too long. Another thing they've done also is they've implemented an automated system called Genie. You may have seen Genie appearing on your servers. That Genie isn't actually a actual proper moderator or enforcement officer. It is literally a bot. It's meant comes on the server, it does like a one-time check to see if anyone is either meshing or there is substantial evidence, or not 100% clear how it works, but I've reliable information from you guys telling me about your situation that it detects if there's lots of duped items, and it will basically alert the team, and it may even stop you, kick you out of the game straight away when it jumps onto the server, or it may even delete your tribe. These are all good things. It's the number one issue I have with Wildcard. It's the biggest problem that I will keep going on about if I see them not reacting enough. Over the last 7 months, I've said their communication's been poor because they're just not relayed what they're going to do. They've not actually ever spoke to us in a live stream or mentioned it or really give us any heads up. The community manager has said we've got things coming, stuff is cooking, stuff is happening, posy vibes. But that is not good enough. We need more information. You don't have to tell us exactly what you're doing so that the cheaters can get away with coming ways around it. But you've got to give us some sort of deadlines. And the fact it's still taken them 7 months to get to this stage is definitely one of the biggest reasons I get so freaking salty. I love ARK. I love the creative side of it. I love seeing what people build and do. I love playing adventures on it when I've got new, fresh content. After playing the game though for like nearly 4 years, I'm kind of done just doing a bog standard let's play on the island. That's why I need new stuff, just like you guys. So yeah, that's why I get a bit salty. There's definitely a lot of comments on my last video saying, oh, why do you have to moan so much? End of the day, that's what I do. That's what news should be. It shouldn't just be giving you hype all the time, because I might as well be a paid fucking shill. I might as well be like every other Let's Play ARK YouTuber out there that doesn't give a fuck about what platform you guys play on, doesn't care about you playing on official, because they're playing on their private nice little server where they don't have to worry about cheaters messing up thousands of hours of their work. I don't play on them servers, but I still care. I still try and give you guys information. And yes, I give you my opinion. You can like it, you can not like it. I'm always going to be there, and I'm always going to be giving you the good and the bad. And it's either that, or you can go ahead and have the 7 ads in a fucking 10-minute video from loaded clickbait, or loads of just absolute bullshit. Going on and on and on about content coming possibly to console when he knows for a fact it's a fucking mod on PC. Or he puts the logos on the fucking screenshots on the thumbnails saying Xbox and PlayStation and spends 10 minutes waffling on about mods. Guy's a fucking douche. Or a million fucking copycats that literally copy every single idea you've ever had to make news videos a bit more interesting or a bit more lively. There's plenty of them out there. I'm not the best at what I do. I'm fucking certainly not. I could improve. Swearing's one of them that someone that's commented. But I'm honest and I'm passionate. I try to keep the clickbait to a minimum, and if I am trying to be a bit clickbaity, it's because I actually really want you to pay attention to a serious issue. And the only way to do that sometimes is to draw you in, because there are so many people out there that just won't react unless it says something really ridiculous. And this is just a bit of an answer to some of the critics as well. Like, go and take a look at my ARK playlist. This isn't even all of them. 479 news videos. Like I said, there's a bunch of these that I haven't even included because they're so old. Take a look at all the guides I've done. Take a look at all the server setting tutorials I've done. Take a look at all the Let's Plays. Take a look at all the community stuff I've done, like base tours, building new towns in Primitive Plus. All my tamed videos that I tried being a bit more cinematic with. My big, huge breakthrough when it hit PlayStation 4, my Let's Play was massive. My A to Z of ARK, I'm about to start again. So no one can tell me that I'm just too negative. I may be negative at certain points, but at the end of the day, that's all based on what the game is currently doing. And them same people that are saying I'm negative, where the fuck were you commenting on any of these videos? When do you ever watch a positive video and leave a positive comment? So yeah, a bit of a reply to some people that think I'm too negative. When games are positive, I will be positive. When there's actually news, I'll give you news, hence why I don't do ARK videos every day. You're lucky to get maybe 2, possibly 3 a week from me, if that. I like to cover all survival games that are coming to particularly console. At the moment, I'm loving the fact that Conan Exiles have done a lot of work to improve their game. It's not perfect, they have issues of their own, some bugs, some issues, particularly with, at the moment, PvP and some arrow exploits or bow exploits. But the community team have already acknowledged that, and it's not going to be months and months that it's not going to be fixed. They have had an issue with gods and avatars and bubbles not working, basically meaning anyone can level anyone pretty quickly and easily. And so what do? They disabled the system, and it's been months now, but at least that means no one loses their progress. And that's what a lot of you guys ask for. You guys ask for climbing picks to be removed, you ask for chairs to be removed. And none of that makes sense, because that's just completely breaking the game. They're not going to be able to remove it all for everyone. It will just cause too many issues. But this is what I've been hoping for. This is what I want to see more from Wildcard. Giving us detailed patch notes, keeping us up to date much more thoroughly, and their community team being more responsive. I honestly think they need more than just said. They've had 2 community managers in the past, and they definitely need to get more help. And don't implement updates during holidays. I don't like ragging on one single person. I realise it's a hard job. But I will carry on doing that, because ultimately the community managers are the face of the game, and they're the only ones that are talking. If I could get an interview with Jesse or Jeremy right now, I would ask them exactly the same sort of questions that I asked the community manager. It's said here, I've commented on all the top bugs, glitches, exploits that I know of. You're probably upset because the fixes aren't coming as fast as you like. I can't control that. but I can let you know what's been worked on and let the dev team know what the community is saying. And that's exactly what has needed to happen more. So don't underestimate stuff. Don't underestimate or put aside salty players when they're replying on Twitter. As long as they're not being bitches and calling people names, they can be angry. People can be angry about the state of the game because that shows passion. Anyway, bit of a rant, but there you go. Fixes are coming to Wildcard. I'm so glad. And it's just a shame it hasn't happened sooner, and it's still only happening just before paid DLC's coming out. It does leave me skeptical. I just wonder why they couldn't have fixed this first, actually put all their team on it instead of actually working on stuff that's going to just pay them more money. But there we go. I'm asking for too much. Hod Gaming agrees with me. We'll give him a like as well. I've not just included the Switch gameplay for the fun of it, as you can see in the background. Also, where the hell are updates? Switch hasn't had one single bug fix update since it launched. Literally one tiny update to make sure servers would start, and that was it. That was in December 2018. So over a year now. I ragged on Said a little bit on Twitter, and he said he will ask, because at the end of the day, I don't care if it's Wildcard or Snail Games USA, someone's got to give us a fucking answer for the survivors that play this game. There might not be many, but they were promised content. They were promised that the game would receive content. They were promised that we would receive a season pass, and it hasn't happened in over a year. No events, no boost, no nothing for XP, nothing. The servers, no differences, no choices, no new stuff. Just the bog standard game. No free maps, no Center, no Ragnarok, no Valguero, no Primitive Plus. Yet when it first got sold, it was sold as a full price game. $44 or 44 quid, something stupid like that. It may be cheaper now, but that doesn't take away the fact they sold it at a massive price with so little content. It needs answers. We need to know what's going on. So, meshing, lots of progress. The duping situation, hopefully, it's not a punishment for the people that have been duping, which is still something I want to see, and it may not stop it altogether. There will be more methods, but this main big one that's kind of taken over, hopefully that means that is going to be resolved. They're going to re-add what they've done. It's been taken off because it was affecting innocent players. I'm going to see some big changes, and I love this. I want to be positive about Genesis. I don't want to have to be doing news videos, updates, talking about what's happening, and still referencing all this bullshit. Agree me, disagree, leave your comments in the box down below, but just be warned, I'll always reply as well. I'm kind of relieved because I don't want to get grumpy about the game. I want to just enjoy the fucking thing. So now we've got some fixes, I can rest assured and put my weight behind it a little bit more and feel positive that I'm promoting a game that is actually worth promoting. So there we go. I'll see you guys later. I'm a bit late with this video as well, and I may have took too much painkillers, so it's given me a bit of a hype. I slipped in my own shit today. I was clearing out a drain that had overflown, and the drain was filled with literally all the shit and poo and stuff from months. Literally didn't realise it had just been building up and blocking up, and I was carrying a huge bit of wood, just top story for you guys, and I slipped and I literally landed on my back and it proper bruised it and bashed it. So I'm a bit late. The video wasn't planned. I've decided to come on now because I'm literally wide awake with my caffeine tablets. I'll be back later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.